Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you are watching another instalment of Overbooked, the series where I talk about every single book on my shelves, because what is time management? Today I'm very excited to be talking about one of my all-time favourite retellings, To Kill a Kingdom. Quick disclaimers before we start. I'm pretty sure I did buy my own copy of this, or I bought a copy and gave it to a friend, but this copy I did get free at a Hotkey Books event a couple of years ago. Just disclosing that this copy was given to me for free. Regardless, no one's paying me to talk about books, all opinions are my own. And even though this is a book from a couple of years ago, it's getting on a little bit, I am going to keep things as spoiler-free as humanly possible, but if you want to go in knowing absolutely nothing, click away now. This is a YA fantasy book that first came out in 2018 from Hotkey Books. I just want to bring up this section on the back, the Hotkey Books, what's in it. Strength, sirens, princes, and hearts. Really scraping the barrel with this one, like anyone's walking into a bookshop being like, I really want a book that primarily features strength. Alexandra Christo is a British author who as yet has only written YA. Her follow-on book from this, not a sequel, but her next book that she brought out, Into the Crooked Place, came out in 2019. It's kind of like a, not heisty, but like gang of young adults doing some slightly dodgy stuff. Trains were involved. I read it, didn't love it. The sequel to that, which is called City of Spells, is out in 2021. So the plot, I've already mentioned this is a retelling. I should probably mention what's being retold. This is a retelling of The Little Mermaid, only she's not a mermaid, she's a siren. When I first heard about this book, just purely the concept, Little Mermaid but sirens, I just about bust a gut because that's probably the coolest idea I've ever heard. I'm sure it's been done before because it's kind of obvious, but this is the first time I'd heard about it and I got excited. As ever, I've only seen the names written down. Her name could be Lyra or Lyra, I'm unsure, but I'm gonna go with Lyra. She's a siren princess, Lyra. She has every single year of her life stolen the heart of a prince, literally taken his heart and buried it under her bed. But at the start of this book, she is cursed from siren form into human form by her, frankly, quite not that very nice sea queen mother. And unless she wants to be human forever, she needs to bring her mother the heart of the siren-slaying prince. That prince, Prince Elian, I'm going to go with Elian, it feels more fantasy to me. He would much rather be roaming the high seas killing sirens than preparing to rule, but he one day rescues a rather unusual woman out of the water, and she promises to help him destroy sirens for good, but can he trust her? In case it wasn't clear, that woman is Lyra. It's enemies to lovers YA romance, get on board. So this is enemies to lovers romance. If that's not a trope that you enjoy, if YA romance isn't something you enjoy, get off board, back in the sea with the sirens. But if you are on board with that sort of thing, I would say this is a pretty solid option. I mean, you can't really get more enemies than I desperately need to kill you because of my nature as a siren. The tropiness of this book is great because I actually really enjoy a tropey retelling, but what I like about this is it doesn't just descend into, well, I'm not like other girls, sirens. I really love Lyra as a main character. I love her core of ruthlessness. I love her, the book told us about it, I love her strength. I love how just awesome she is and uncompromising until she has the facts that she needs. I also really like the prince, who manages to not be completely gormless, which is something I don't often see in a YA romantic hero. Who doesn't love a swashbuckling prince? I realise I'm basically dressed like a swashbuckler today, so maybe I'm a little bit extra biased. I think the fact that these two characters, while still tropey, are really strong and well developed and well understood. It means that the framework of the book can kind of fit around them in a nice way, and it stops things from leaning too into, well, this is just cheesy nonsense. In some ways, this is a really simple plot. It's a familiar story. It's a retelling after all, but I think some people might be surprised by some of the places this story goes. It doesn't completely do the obvious every time. I won't say it turns every single thing topsy-turvy. I wasn't gasping and in shock at where this story had gone and how hard-hitting it was, but it does some things differently and it has a really satisfying conclusion. As ever, it's hard to talk about that kind of thing without spoiling anything, so let's move on from that quickly. But suffice to say, I thought the ending was good. I think my largest con for this book is how simple it is. It's not very long. The paperback is only 350-ish pages. There's not a lot of meat to it, in a sense of, I don't think it would prompt me to have a load of questions about life, the universe, and everything. That's fine. Sometimes you just need something that you can comfortingly read and be like, I had a good time with that, it was nice. But sometimes I go to YA because I want to learn something or I want to experience a different viewpoint. This was just sort of, you know, middle of the road for me. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Sometimes that's what you want. But if you're looking for something to, I don't know, change your experience of love, the universe, and the world, might not find it in this one. It's also not gay, which is always a disappointment for me, but also, you know, it's straight YA romance. I'm not mad at it. Some similar, familiar things that you might want to read if you enjoyed this, or if you're just looking for more things you might want to read in general. I have The Lunar Chronicles, because it's cheesy YA romance and I enjoy that. The Beast's Heart, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I think it's technically adult. It might be kind of crossover, but that's another fun retelling that I don't bring up very often. I often forget I have it. And also Enemies to Lovers, Cat and Mouse Games, Tiger at Midnight. I'm really excited for the sequel for that. I must read that at some point. Should you read this? As with a lot of YA fantasy romance, which I feel is most of apparently what I was reading in 2018, who knew? I think if you are on board for this idea, for these tropes, for these beats of storytelling, and for just something that's fun, then this is the book for you. I mean, Little Mermaid with sirens. If that got you excited, this will be a good book for you. Yes, that's what it will be. 2018 was a year where like 1,000,001 retellings were published. They're slowing down a bit now, but 2018, every other book I read was a retelling, and this is one of the ones that I have actually held on to because I think it is one of the better YA fairy tale retellings. I am aware that there are 1,000,001 Little Mermaid inspired books. I would love to know what your favourites are in the comments below. While you are down there commenting, please do also follow me on my social media. That's linked below. You can subscribe because it makes me feel loved and appreciated. Thumbs up if you enjoy sirens more than mermaids. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. It's the paperback curse. It's just not gonna stay up. You know it's there, I know it's there, we've looked at the cover, it's all fine. Quick disclaimers before we start. I think my largest